What is going on, Dell Razors? Hold on, what episode is this? Is it 802? Let me find out here. I never fucking know. Starting the show off all professional. Episode 802. Boom, got it. How are you guys? I am about to start a run here in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Comedy Cellar at the Rio Hotel. So I'll be here today, Monday, what is it, 12th? Yeah, through Sunday, the 18th, I believe. So come on out if you are around, you know. Show up. Don't hit with the catch you next time. Not with these air traffic controllers fucking splitting on the job and risking your life to do comedy. It's a fucking it's dangerous job now, stand up. It's up there with firefighter and policeman. It's fucking between the travel and air traffic control and the animals on the planes, and then you know, the kooks out in the world. I don't like your fucking point of view. Anyway, make the trek out to see your favorite comedian. Speaking of that, I just got added to Arizona. I'm going to slide into these places before it gets 1,000 degrees out. I'll be there the 29th through the 31st at House of Comedy. Just got the show. Gotta love that. Whoever canceled, thank you. Probably afraid to fly. I'm not going to fly. It is scary times, though, man. I mean, straight up, the air traffic controllers are going, look, man, there's not enough workers. There's been cutbacks. And they're going, I wouldn't fly if I were you right now. Newark, blackouts and shit. They're like, don't do it. I mean, it was already crazy like 5 years ago. What's that 60 Minutes thing where people were like, we're working like 20 hours. I fell asleep looking at my screen. Yeah. That's how I like to open up the show today with a good old fashioned fucking paranoia. Welcome. Oh, look at this. I fucking trimmed up my beard because it's 102 degrees out. It's supposed to cool off all week, which is great. It was weird. It was like cold in LA for like 3 weeks. People were complaining. I'm like, hey, don't be complaining because it's about to be about 7 or 8 months of over 100. So I trimmed it up. Every time I trim it up, and then I go, ugly face. Somebody once said the beard is the old man's facelift. And I believe that. The face hider. Something like every like 7 or 8 months, I go, well, maybe I'll trim the beard off this time and the face won't look as bad. But no, face is old, lost a lot of weight. It's all saggy. I'm not going to get fucking face work. That's dumb. I mean, let me go in and get a little tuck here and there. So I just grow the beard, and then I think the whiskers are magically rejuvenating my skin. Like maybe if I shave it off this time, the skin will be nice and tight. It'll look good. Nope. Saggy face. Unless I put on another 40 pounds again and then just die from diabetes, but the face won't be saggy. Anyway, I'm all over today in the craziness. Feeling pretty good. Friday, I got my stomach scoped. I've been telling you guys that I've been having reflux. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go in and get a scope. And I'm going to do that because the doctor's like, well, I don't know if we really are there yet. And I'm all, hey, how about if we fucking just do it for some, peace of mind instead of going in a year from now and they're like, I wish we would have caught this earlier. Yeah, you fucking guy, when I asked to get a scope and you say you don't really need it. So I demanded a scope. And because I've been having reflux. So I changed my diet. I told you guys bottled water, no hot sauce, no sparkling bottled water, sorry. No hot sauce, no coffee, no onions, no tomato sauce, no what else? The only thing I do is mild caffeine with a matcha in the morning. I drink a green tea matcha since I'm not doing coffee. So you're not supposed to have caffeine either, but this is minimal. And I got to have fucking something, or just what are you even living for? I quit sugar, cigarettes, booze, cocaine, weed, caffeine, and then got back on the caffeine. Got to have something. That'd be a good name for the next special. Got to have something, you know? And also, no guarantee you could be completely clean, walk down the street, and fucking brain aneurysm. See, this is a nice, light-hearted podcast today on a Monday. But these are the fucking things that go through my head. Anyway, so I go in and get scoped. And I'll tell you, I've said it before, if you don't get a colonoscopy, you're fucking dumb. And if you don't get, checked out for stuff that's going on with you, like my stomach, you're dumb. Oh, yeah, this will go away. My buddy died of esophagus cancer because he didn't go get checked out. I said it before. He ate like 100 Tums a day. I got heartburn. I got heartburn. The guy was fucking multi-millionaire. Could have went in and fixed it in 1 minute. Dies. Leaves all his money for his kids. Fucking crazy. Anyway, so I get the scope. I go in Friday morning. It's not as intense as the colonoscopy because colonoscopy, you can't eat for like 18 hours. But this one, you just stop eating and drinking at 11:30 at night, and you can go in the morning, you're fine. So I go in. They're going to give me the Michael Jackson drug again, which I fucking love. I mean, I can't even tell you, how great that drug is. Whoever invented that propofol or whatever, whoever invented that goddamn thing, I mean, I was talking to Kevin Christie about it when he picked me up because you got to get picked up, They make you get a ride. You can't just get in your car after you've been in full knockout. But I was talking to Kevin. We were thinking, like, how many people died while they were, testing this fucking drug, man? You can't really test it on like squirrels because you need some, you know, audio talk back. Like, like, oh, yeah, I don't know about that shit. Anyway, I go in and they put a fucking mouth guard on you. And then you kind of lay sideways with this pillow. And the doctor was there. And he's like, okay, so we're going to put this mouth guard on. And then we're going to give you a little of the juice. And we'll check it out. It takes about 5 minutes. Now, remember when I got the colonoscopy, I was kind of still a hair awake for a minute. And I was looking at the big screen and I saw him go, oh, there's something there. And he goes, hey, you see that? And I go, and he goes, I just heard him say, give him a little more. And then I was gone. And then I woke up and got that call to open for Metallica. I didn't get that call this time. When I woke up, I was like, where's the Metallica call? Fuck, come on. Anyway, so I'm in there, I'm laying sideways. He tells me, yeah, we lay you sideways. Then we put the camera, it goes all the way down into your gut, and we'll see if you've got any ulcers or anything that's causing the reflux. So I'm looking at him, he's talking to me, and then they go, okay, lights out. They turn the lights out in the room so they can see the screen. They got giant screens in there. And they want to be able to see really good. And he goes, all right, we're going to give you a little bit of, and then I just woke up to noise. people talking all around me because they roll you into this, you know, kind of recovery room, and there's like 30 people in there that have got their ass or their stomach checked. It's so fucking insane. I I think it's the closest to a time machine that we have because he's literally talking to me and I'm in one room and it immediately I'm in another room and there's people talking around me. I fucking have never ever I don't care what drug you've done, I've done them all. I have never felt anything as radical as that, meaning you feel nothing. You're out and then you're awake. And you're just kind of like, what the and it's not like you just slowly wake up, like you're waking up in the morning like, oh yeah, what's going on here? It's not that. It's unk, unk, like a light switch. It is fucking crazy. Anyway, so I woke up and he's like, look, you got mild like inflammation down there, gastritis or whatever. He said real mild. I don't really see anything. We took a biopsy to see if you've got something, but we didn't see anything. So I'm gonna chalk it up to stress. So yeah, just go ahead and stop stressing. He he just said that like like we are not in these fucking political times. Yeah, just go ahead and stop stressing. Yeah, I know the whole world's fucking going up in flames, but just ease up on the stress, huh? What the fuck? I couldn't believe he said, yeah, so just go ahead and stop stressing. I'm like, wait, we got a new booker at the Comedy Store, right? And we're all hoping we still get to work. There's no air traffic controllers, right? I don't really have a lot of work on the calendar, right? Just fucking asshole. Anyway, we will see. I was thinking, everybody's microdosing mushrooms or a little bit of MDMA or acid for depression. But I'll tell you what the best microdose would be that propofol. Some kind of patch, just a microdose of that where you just kind of like, because I'll tell you, I never feel better than when I'm fucking knocked out with that shit. When you are actually fucking dead, knocked out, dead, like out, you don't have any worries. I'm gonna start microdosing that shit. Anyway, wild, man. So we'll see. But pretty cool there's nothing down there. And also pretty cool that they have this goddamn technology, man. Just to be able to throw a camera down inside you and see what's going on and knock you out on a Friday morning. I walked out into you're kind of fucking out of it for the day. It does put a fucking like, like Muhammad Ali punched you. You're kind of walking around in a fog for about 4 hours. But Kev picked me up and we went and got some breakfast, and I was just kind of like, oh. It's so weird. So we will see, and but seemed to be pretty good news. Meaning, other than whatever my reflux is definitely fucking self-induced, which I pretty much knew because I never had any stomach cramps or anything. I'm not walking around like my stomach. I'm not walking around with like bloated or gas. That's the whole mystery of it. Silent reflux. Basically, you don't even fucking know you have it until your vocal cords are just trashed. So I'll wait to see what he says. Anyway, weekend was pretty good. Did some shows around town and got ready to go to Vegas. Went to see a documentary that I was really fired up to see that was actually kind of hard to see in LA, which I was surprised. I went to see the Cheech and Chong documentary, Cheech and Chong's last movie. And, I could have watched it for $20 on Amazon, but I don't fucking watch TV. I like to go to the movie theater, and I've been trying to support movie theaters over the last year by going to the theater. Unfortunately, I don't eat candy anymore, so they're not going to get $46 out of me each movie, which before, man, when I go to the movies, here's what I'd go. First of all, I'd always sneak in my own shit. Who's not doing that? Um, but I would buy shit there too. I'd give them a little 50-50. I'm not a fucking dirtbag. It's just that I like specific candy that the movie theater doesn't have. But I also do like the candy the movie theater does have. And that's why I buy candy there also instead of all of the, because where I go to the movies across the street was a CVS and they just have a row of candy. So I know the movie theater has red vines and raisinets and juji fruits. So I'm not going to get those in CVS because that's just fucking dirtbag. I'm down with sneaking candy in, but don't be a full dirtbag. Two dirtbag moves. One, leaving all of your outside purchases, your candy that you purchase outside, leaving all that wrappers on the ground like a fucking asshole. Like, look at this. Ha ha. I didn't buy your candy. Um, there are a lot of people that are like, well, the fucking movies are $20. And then their candy's $80. Well, they're fucking trying to stay open. Last time I checked, not a lot of people going to the movie theater. Also, I like to go during the day, $5, $6. There's a Sunset 5 on Sunset Strip that has like $6 Tuesdays. And that's when I'd go every week for years. Anyway, so I found the movie theater that it was playing at. It was one I'd never even been in Burbank, and it was in an old mall, which malls are deadly for movie candy because they got the candy store in the mall. They always have a candy store in the mall with the fucking barrels where they way overcharge you. So anyway, I would buy the Raisinets, Juji Fruits, and Red Vines. This is one movie, by the way, at the movie theater. And then I'd bring in 2 bags of gummy cherries or Swedish fish. And I would eat this fucking shit, all of it, by the end of the movie. Just, you know, pounding down uh, a week's worth of candy in 2 hours. Easily. So I go to the movie theater, and it turns out it's going to be like probably my new favorite theater. It's at this old Burbank Mall. I don't know, town fun center or whatever it's fucking called. I'd never been into this mall. It's across the street from a comedy club I work sometimes, Flappers, but I'd never been in this fucking mall. And so I go in the mall, and it is so weird to be in a mall in 2025. It just feels ancient. You got these stores that you don't even know are around still, like Sears and Macy's. I don't think the Sears is open. I think Sears closed, but there was a Macy's. There was a Sears, but I didn't see if it was open. Remember the malls they had here's what they had. Back when I was growing up, it was J.C. Penney's, and then it was Sears, and those were kind of the on the ends of the mall. And those are kind of the flagship stores that, bookended the mall. And then in the middle would just be all the same bullshit. Lids, Foot Locker, some fucking cheesy jewelry store that you're looking like, who is going in there? Some place where they print on t-shirts, Bob is gay. You know, you get some shirt made as a joke. You give it to the guy for his birthday. Ah, you should wear that. And then a Macy's, and that was considered high end. You know, J.C. Penney's the bottom of the barrel. Sears, America. You know, you go get some tools, some boots, and some Wranglers when you go into Sears. And then Macy's was high end, man. Oh my God. You go in there, you get some fucking cologne and maybe a small gold chain to wear with your a puka shell necklace to wear with your OP shorts. Anyway, I'm in this mall and it's fucking crazy. But in there, they got like a six cinema theater. And I go in and it's super clean. There's no one in there. And they got the fucking amazing Barca lounges, the ones that you fall asleep in right away. But I was like, holy shit, this is like my own personal theater. And there's no one in here. This is fucking great. The only people in the theater seeing the Cheech and Chong doc are like four old white people like me. And, you know, there are no young Cheech and Chong fans. It's not like a band like, say, Metallica, Kiss, AC/DC, Van Halen, where, you know, the parents passed down the music generation to generation. Cheech and Chong really was kind of surviving off of anyone that is 50 years old and older. There is no young Cheech and Chong fan. I have never, ever run into somebody that goes, man, I love comedy. You know, I love Cheech and Chong. You know, that's an interesting thing about comedy. Richard Pryor and Carlin, documentaries on them, and there are fans that it passed down. But Cheech and Chong is an old man's fucking game. And they're old now, of course. I'm fucking 59. So how old are those guys? Let me look real quick. They're up there, you know, like 70s. Um, Let me see here. Cheech and Chong. How old are these guys? Let me look. Fucking first record came out in like 1970. Um, this is going to get interesting, believe me. Right now you're going like, hey man, I don't know anything about Cheech and Chong. You're proving yourself right. I am in my 30s and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. If you don't know who Cheech and Chong is, let me see how old they are. Hold on here. Cheech Marin is born in 1946. He is 78. He is the Hispanic member of Cheech and Chong. And then Tommy Chong, the Asian, Canadian, Scottish, Irish member, who is, holy shit, Chong is 86. Oh, fucking hats off to that dude, man. Still alive. I had no idea. So, anyway, no wonder they don't have any fucking young fans, man. They're older than the Who. They're older than the Stones, which, by the way, this documentary is fantastic to watch. And if you don't know who Cheech Chong is one of the reasons I do comedy. I would go to my good friend's house, Rex and Eric Gibbs, and their stepdad, who was straight up, looked like Sam Elliott from Mask, who worked in the garage on his fucking cars all the time, long hair. His mom, their mom worked at a 7-Eleven. They'd be fucking gone at work, and we would sneak in and listen to his Cheech and Chong records. And the one that really knocked me out was called Los Cochinos. Los Cochinos came out in 1973, and it had a bit on there called Pedro and the Man at the Drive-In. And it fucking blew my mind. There is no comedy like this anymore, where a duo goes into the studio with no audience and basically does sketches on vinyl. Discovered by the great Lou Adler, who was the recently in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but also the producer of the greatest record, which happy Mother's Day to my mom yesterday. Carole King's Tapestry, my mom's favorite record and mine, together. We loved it. Lou Adler finds him. They started up in Canada, moved to LA, working at the Roxy and the Comedy Store, working out these weird two-man, sketches on stage in front of people. Exploded into fame, opened for the Stones. Lou Adler called them the original first rock and roll comedians, which, by the way, my fucking computer here, I got to get the power. Hold on, guys. This fucking sucks. Anyway, they opened for the Stones. Here I am out opening for Metallica and Alice in Chains and shit. These guys fucking open for the Stones. That's how big they were. There's a clip where Bruce Springsteen goes, yeah, I opened for Cheech and Chong early in my career. And he was describing, he goes, people don't understand how fucking big Cheech and Chong is. Now, they had a few records out that really knocked me out. And then they drop a movie called Up in Smoke. But back to this record that I fucking loved called Los Cochinos. Los Cochinos. I never knew this. I'm watching the documentary. They had a song at the end of the record called Basketball Jones. And let me just fucking tell you who played on it. So they're in this studio with Lou Adler and they're recording these sketches and they come up with this song, Basketball Jones. And Lou Adler goes walking around the studio to find some people to play on it. And who does he run into? George Harrison, who fucking plays guitar on Basketball Jones, had no idea. I had no idea. And a matter of fact, I think Prince ripped off his tone on Basketball Jones for Purple Rain. So go listen to that. And it is the beginning kind of a Purple Rain. It's crazy. The sound, the tone, the echo vibe on the guitar. Billy Preston on fucking organ on this. Carole King on the piano. Nicky Hopkins on piano, who just went into the Rock Hall. And then Jim Keltner on drums. This is fucking crazy, this band. And they lay down this track. It was their third record, and it really had a monumental impact on me. The artwork was cool. It had a die-cut cover that you slid out. You could see they were smuggling weed in the side of their car. And then I was just kind of reading the history of this particular record because it really knocked me out when I was a kid. I re-listened to it. It's definitely an old world type of thing. But then I was reading the reviews and it said, Rolling Stone magazine, Janet Maslin found Cheech and Chong's humor to be running thin on this third record, asking, is this really the best we can do for comedy? There's nothing funny about it. Anyway, the record goes to number 2 on the charts, and they win their first Grammy for Best Comedy Record that year. So, fuck you, Rolling Stone. And so I'm reading that, and I'm laughing because, it really hit me at this time where I was just fucking... when you put something out, like I put a special out 3 weeks ago, in case you guys didn't know, I put a special out. Did you guys hear? You didn't hear, right? I better promote that right now. 5836, my special dropped on YouTube. Go watch it and leave a review and subscribe in case you have been under a rock. Anyway, I put a special out, and you're always going to get these people that think they know comedy. I know comedy, and this ain't comedy, or I love this comedy, and that comedy sucks. This isn't comedy. This is comedy. It is unreal, that everybody in their fucking mom thinks they know what comedy is, but have never done it. And it is fucking hilarious, no matter how big you are. And it got me to thinking, I don't think there's anybody that could drop a special and not get fucking clowned. I was thinking the only person maybe would be Stanhope. I started thinking like Doug Stanhope and Motorhead, which a couple days ago was Motorhead's 50-year anniversary. Motorhead Day dropped on Friday. Congrats. Long live the great Motorhead. But Motorhead and Stanhope, I think, are the only things that you could go on YouTube and click on one of their things, and you're not going to see anyone go, this ain't music. This ain't comedy. Fuck this guy. These guys suck. You're not Motorhead and Stanhope. That's it, I think. Anyway, so I'm thinking like everybody thinks they know what comedy is. And it's fucking hilarious to me. And usually when you click on the people's photos, they're just some fucking tool, you know? It's really fucking funny. Anyway, the reason I laughed at that Cheech and Chong thing was there's all types of comedy. Like if somebody listened to Cheech and Chong right now, they'd be like, oh, what is this? This ain't comedy, you know? But what the fuck did they know? So the reason I'm bringing this up was I feel that we are in this world where no one will admit they're wrong anymore. No one will apologize. And the matter of fact, the more wrong they are, the more they double down, the more they dig in because they're embarrassed and there's no turning back for these people. And so yesterday, and like I said, my fucking special has been unbelievable with the positive comments, but it also is not at 1 million views yet. I could only imagine when you're at 1 million views, that's like I said before, when they come in and like, fuck this guy. When you're at 35,000, they're like, they're not that angry because they might think that's a failure. But what they don't know is I've got over 4 million views on the clips. We'll keep that between us. So anyway, I got a message yesterday, a comment in my Instagram. And it was from this guy, Boris the Cat. Duggo is dead. I don't know. His account is Boris the Cat, but also Duggo is dead. Hey, big dog. I got to tell you something. I was a dick over the years and downplayed your stand-up. Without seeing you live, I only had seen a few clips. I was always like, Dean is a great dude, and I love hearing him talk about music and such with Burr and Marin and other legends, but not much of a stand-up, I would have to say. And now I can say this honestly, I was wrong, capital letters. Brother, you absolutely killed this special, and your craft is honed. I'm just a dude that isn't a stand-up and just records rehashed Melvin's licks. So obviously you don't need my approval, but just wanted to let you know. Now let me tell you something. If everybody was like this, I would be fucking, I'm telling you, America right now would be great again. because this is like one of the greatest um, comments I've ever seen because it's a lot like to me, you two put out Octung Baby and I listened to it once and I was like, this is trash. And I returned it and really realized I didn't give it a chance and saw him live. And I was like, oh my God, I got to go get that fucking record again. And it's been my favorite record my whole life. Now, am I going to be somebody's favorite comedian? I don't give a fuck about that. I mean, either you're going to like it or not. But my point is, this guy, even though he was like, yeah, that guy, he still went and watched the special and gave it a chance. And that is fucking amazing to me because that's how people used to be. You know, they'd be like, you see your buddy and your buddy goes, man, I love fucking Ice Cube. You're like, I don't like hip hop at all. Fuck that. And then you're cruising his car and he's playing Ice Cube and you're like, hey, you know what, man? Fuck, it's pretty good. That's how it used to be. Anyway, so the guy posts that and I'm fucking feeling great. 1 minute later, next post. Oh, fuck's sakes. Bill and his friends literally are not funny anymore. What the fuck happened? You guys are making jokes my 6-year-old mother can relate to. What the fuck happened to comedy? That is like right there. The comedy of that is amazing. Now I am getting some pretty good battles. I knew it when I put up new president. I put up the new president bit. And of course, I trash both sides on the new president bit. And you can always tell who somebody fucking voted for by their comment. And it is amazing, man. Fucking, because the butthurt people are always the red hats. That is for sure. This guy right here, Hank Moody. The whole both sides thing is dumb. Stop being remotely funny years ago. It's weak, boring, and hack. The Democrats like Biden, and Kamala sounded idiotic. Trump was always smart, even if you're not into him. But if you're not into him, you're basically anti-American. Hilarious, man. I mean, it's just fucking hilarious. Anyway, my point is, it doesn't matter. You can put something out, one person says this is trash, and then all of a sudden you win a Grammy. You know? That motorcycle bit I put out on Friday has got over 1 million views, and it has lit fire in the motorcycle community, which is so fucking cool. It is, I mean, people are sharing this thing like crazy. They're making their own clips with the audio. And I can't even tell you how fucking great that makes me feel. Not because, oh, yeah, fuck yeah, 1 million views. It's just, it's really hit a community that really got it. And then you'll get the other people that don't ride, and they're like, oh, what happened to comedy? Where's the punchline? What's the joke? It's like, you hear the people laughing. Maybe it's you. Anyway, so the motorcycle community went crazy over this. And even Harley Davidson fucking reposted it. And then they invited me down to a private event to see the 35th anniversary of the new Fat Boy. And man, it felt good to be in there. It was like 40 of us, and they're showing us this brand new motorcycle privately. It was just so fucking cool. And then it really took me back to a place in time, 1990, when the original Fat Boy came out. I remember Harley was starting to get hot again, big time. And Dudley Perkins in San Francisco was our dealer. And it was almost impossible to get a new Harley because they were that hot. The employees had bought it back from AMF. They'd built this motor called the Evolution, and it exploded. And Willie G and his team designed this ultimate cruiser. And at the time, there was no fucking motorcycle like the Harley Davidson Fat Boy. Now you just kind of take it for granted. But in 1990, when this thing came out, even before Terminator, when Schwarzenegger's riding it and really fucking makes it huge, the original gray one that came out with the yellow bands around the motor, it was so fucking cool that even if I see one now, like all stock original, it stops me in my tracks. I remember my buddy was this blow dealer, and same guy that would hang out with me at the store in the 80s. And he goes, I'm going to buy a Harley. And he went down there and bought that fucker cash. And you got to think at the time, this was the biggest motorcycle any of us had seen in the neighborhood. Because Harley panheads and knuckleheads and shovelheads, they were slimmer and they were a little, I mean, other than the dresser bikes, they were, stripped down and shit. And this was a giant fucking motorcycle, man. I mean, giant, solid dish rims, big tanks. The tanks seemed huge at the time. They're only like 3.5 gallons. Now the tanks are like 6 gallons. And then the motor, I think, was a 1360 or something cc. It was a fucking machine, and it really changed the course of Harley Davidson. I truly believe that it is the rocket that exploded Harley for the next 20 years. And that's why it's part of their icon series. Anyway, we went and saw this bike. It was really fucking cool. And it was great just to know these guys had watched this bit and they're like, hey, dude, that fucking special's amazing. And, you know, had me down. Really cool. So congrats to Harley, 35 years on the Fat Boy. Harley Davidson's struggling right now. The motorcycle industry is absolutely in the shitter. A lot like all kinds of industries. And, the the economy, people just aren't buying luxury things like fucking boats and Harley Davidsons and jet skis and motorhomes. All that shit could go away. Now, the guy said, I believe it too, Harley's never going away. They've been around 120 years or something, 125, 105, something. But it's an interesting time in the motorcycle world. The shops are empty. I was at this shop and there was no one at this Harley shop. No one. And that's scary. That is scary because, there's nothing cooler than a Harley shop or a motorcycle shop, a Ducati shop, a BMW shop. You go into these shops and it's just like fucking motorcycles. I mean, you just kind of, if you're like me, I mean, if you don't give a fuck about motorcycles, you won't want to go in there. But if you love motorcycles and you go into the shop, it's like, oh my God. So anyway, I just want to thank everybody for sharing that clip and sharing all the fucking clips. It has really, really helped this special. Like I said, over 4 million views on these clips. And some of the comedy clubs, I'm sure, are starting to take notice now and they're reaching out. I'm going to be doing Fort Worth, Texas in July. Those tickets are on sale right now on my website. I'm going to the Comedy Fort in Fort Collins, Colorado in June. I'll be doing Reno, Laugh Factory. I think that's in September. Let me look. Reno Laugh Factory, the place that I canceled when I thought I had a stroke, and then they just boycotted me for about 8 years. September 25, 26, 27, 28, I will be in Reno at the Laugh Factory. So some dates are happening. And, so come out and see me. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about My Morning Jacket. They have a new record out. My Morning Jacket. I have been following for years. Absolutely love this band when they first came out with this record. Excuse me. Um, in what year was this record? I fucking loved it so much. Um, Hold on here. I got it right here. God damn, it's hot. It's fucking hot right now, people. 2003, September 9th. This record came out. It still moves, and I fell in love with this band. It was of course, the amazing songwriting from the great Jim James, and I mean, this guy. He was a heavy Neil Young fan, of course, and it had this atmospheric reverb. I had read that they used a grain silo and turned it into a giant reverb, which is insane. And that was it. I was off to the races with at My Morning Jacket. I went to see him many, many times. One of the times that I really remember was on the Z record. I was doing comedy. What year did that come out? I want to look real quick. Because it's an interesting story because it's right when I start comedy. And I remember I was going on every fucking night. Actually, it wasn't when I started comedy, so it must have been on a tour after this. But I remember Bill going, "Hey, man, I get it. You want to go on every night, but you got to go out and live your life." Evil Urges. That's no, no. It was the next record. Circa Tool. How do you say that? Holding on to black metal. Anyway, I went to the Santa Barbara Bowl. Bill's like, dude, you got to go out and live your life, or you're just going to write about shit that's happening on the Comedy Store patio. And then you're just going to fucking sound like all the other comedians. Go out, live your life, take those fucking, you know, those stories and turn them into jokes. And sure enough, I went to Santa Barbara Bowl and just started writing jokes like crazy. Anyway, I've been following this band for years, and they've dropped a new record out right now. It's called IZ, and I didn't even know they had a new record out until SiriusXM was playing Time Waited like every couple hours. I was like, this is a good song. Who is this? And I realized, holy shit, it's My Morning Jacket. They got a little different sound. Jim has changed the sound of the band over the years, which is cool. Constantly mixing it up so it wasn't just the same old big reverb washed type of vocal and songwriting style. And I loved it. One thing I noticed about this song, Time Waited, is it sounds a lot like the Snoopy song from the Snoopy Christmas, you know. It sounds a lot like that, man. Great record. Squid Ink, killer song. Die for it. Amazing. Half a Lifetime. This is a great, great record. I kind of fell off for a few years from My Morning Jacket because I'd been following him so long. This band's been around since 19 fucking 98. Of course, multiple different members and everything. But the main guy is Jim James, and he is just fucking fantastic. So I wanted to give a shout out to that. And I will tell you, dig into these records. Evil Urges is so fucking good, man. This record came out in 2008. I'm amazed. Great song. I've seen them many times, like I've said, and I fucking love them. And so now I'm back on with their new record, which is pretty fucking cool. Dig into it. Listen, I just start at the beginning, you know, back in 99, the Tennessee Fire, and then just carry on through. Z is wild, man. They get it totally changed their sound with all these synthesizers and everything. Evil Urges kind of goes back to the old school sound. The Waterfall record in 15 is great. Um, anyway, congrats, Jim James. And it's so funny because the record that I love is not on Amazon. How is that even fucking possible? These streaming platforms, whatever one you use, and hopefully it's not fucking Spotify. I mean, they just like, is anybody checking up to be like, hey, our big record isn't on here? I mean, how's that even fucking possible? You know? It's so crazy. Uh, I mean, I want to go listen to it and I'm like, oh, it's not on here. Absurd. Just absurd. Kentucky band, by the way, out there. It still moves me. It's 2003 and it's just fucking not on here. Fuck you, streamers. Anyway, shout out. Dig into that, people. Man, I'm fucking sweating. I hope let's see, Golden State Warriors, I think, play tonight. So I hope they fucking win. They got no Steph Curry. There's no way you go all the way to the playoffs and you're like, oh, by the way, we're taking your main guy. I want to cover this real quick. Somebody had wrote in and asked me about my outfit on the special. Some of the comments. What's this guy fucking? What's he? Why is he dressed like he's in a snowstorm? Wearing a fucking ski cap. First of all, everybody and their fucking mom wears a ski cap. I mean, it was a great Louis C.K. bit, where he's like, out in L.A. in those coffee shops where the fucking it's 100 degrees and they're wearing a ski cap. Ooh. Anyway, the special was shot in a fucking cave in the winter, late September, at night. It was like, 60 degrees in there. So yeah, fucking idiot. I'm not wearing a parka. I'm wearing a fucking thin hoodie. So people are asking what outfit I was wearing. So I'll just give it a rundown. The hoodie was the Real McCoys, which is one of my favorite Japanese brands of all time. And it's, you can get it at Standard and Strange, the Real McCoys. It's a dark, overdyed camo. So when you look at it, you don't really see the camo until you hit certain light. It's got some glass beads that are hand blown on the zipper for the pool. Shit that I geek out on, And then the pants were from the great Free Note, who I had on the podcast here. Free Note out in Highland Park. And it's the Rios cut, the Del Rios. But that's a Free Note tan denim. I figured, I don't want to go on and just wear blue jeans, have the standard look. I love blue jeans and I love denim, but I want to have a little bit of a different look to match the cave, some earthy tones. Yeah, some earthy tones. What a douchebag with his earthy tones. Anyway, yeah, so I went with tan denim. And then the boots are the Brian the Bootmaker fucking military donkey punch or whatever they're called. Military boots. And I really love the boots. They're black with green. And then the hat was from this guy in Venice. Let me get his name. Nick Foucault or whatever. I never can say his name. Let me find it. And that's who made the hat. Let's see. Where the fuck is it? Here it is. Nick Foucault. Fouquet. Nick Foucault. And he's over in Venice. He makes handmade fucking badass hats and beanies and shit, all made by hand. This is all shit that I geek out on, and I was making sure that I was wearing something that nobody else was going to be wearing on their, special or album cover or whatever. And then the glasses were Jacques Marie Mage Rover Walkers. There it is. Somebody asked. So I'm giving you the rundown. Um, yeah, man. Fuck. James DeWeaver. I want to give you a shout out right now. James DeWeaver is an old school Delraiser, and he has been hammering the YouTube comments, and I really appreciate it. Just commenting on all of the videos. And I've said it before, believe it or not, this really is what YouTube is looking for. They're looking for people fighting. They're looking for people commenting. They're looking for people sharing, because all they care about, obviously, is advertising and keeping you on the platform. I care about people seeing something I'm really fucking proud of seeing. So thank you, James DeWeaver, for doing that. Very cool. And one last thing before we get out of here. The Whiskey A Go-Go survived a fucking dump truck crash. Dump truck was doing a job. If the Whiskey is on Sunset, but behind it is a straight up street where Axl Rose used to live. Axl actually lived 2 streets over by Tower Records, but there's like uphill streets behind Tower and the Whiskey and the Rainbow, and they go into the Hollywood Hills. And I guess the dump truck was up there doing a job, and then was coming down Sunset, or down the hill towards Sunset, and his brakes went out. And he fucking panicked, and he drove into the fucking Whiskey A Go-Go. Fucking, first of all, how do your brakes go out? Like, don't you notice over a course of a couple months, like, yeah, brakes are kind of shitty. I better go in and get a brake job. Nah, let me just fill this dump truck up with a couple tons and cruise around where there's people. Fucking nuts. Anyways, coming down, he steers right instead of panicking, instead of going into the Sunset and just plowing cars. He goes right into the fucking Whiskey A Go-Go. He hits 2 cars that are parked back there and smashes into the wall. And, I don't know. I think they had a show last night, so it must have not been bad damage. But all I kept thinking was like, oh my God, thank God he didn't drive into the place, because it would have crumbled the back. And then, how the fucking world is now. Yeah, sorry. This is a grandfathered in structure, and you wouldn't be able to make this anymore, so we're going to have to tear it down. That did not happen, thank God. And I think they had a show Saturday night. But what the fuck, man? The longer you live, the crazier shit, stuff that happens. Just fucking dump truck drives into the Whiskey A Go-Go. There's a Friday or Thursday afternoon, whatever day it happened. That is just insane. God damn. Anyway, so I'm glad. I think the whiskey's okay. And thank God, man, we need the whiskey around forever. The whiskey, the Roxy, the Troubadour. Those are some of the most iconic venues of all time in America. I love you guys. See you out on the road. DeanDelray.com for the tickets to the shows. Patreon.com/DeanDelray for the bonus episodes. I just put one up. It's a fun one. Go check it out. And also listen to, check me out on, I did this cool video. I put it on my Patreon of cruising around a Trans Am, and with Nick Perry, who I had on years ago. And we just talk a little bit about the special and my favorite Alice in Chains record, Dirt. So check that out also. Candles are lit. I will see you guys.